And here is my Hec Hamburger technique. This might, if you haven't had lunch, what time is it now? Yeah, if you haven't had lunch, this might make you feel a little bit peckish. I'm sorry about that. But this is a really simple technique that you can apply to writing any email at all, whether you're writing to senior stakeholders, trying to get information from them, whether you're organizing an event, you're trying to get teams to do stuff, perhaps you're sending something out company-wide, you can use this technique with any email, the Hec Hamburger Technique. So this is what it's all about. It's 3 steps to easy email writing. And we have 3 parts here. The hook. So that's like the top bun, right? That is the piece that's got to look appetizing. That's the first thing that you see. Imagine you're looking down at your burger. That's the first thing you see, the start of your email, the hook. How are you going to grab attention from your audience? Next, we have E for explanation. That is like the meat of your burger, okay? That's the main point of your email. What is the meat? Or the plant-based alternative if that's your if you're vegan. And finally, C in the Hec, HEC, is for call to action. So that is what you want people to do. What is it that you're meant to do next? It's really frustrating. So we need all 3 of these parts to create a really great email. We need to hook people, so get their attention. We then need to deliver our point, and then we need to tell them exactly what we want them to do. And things in 3s are inherently proven to be easier to understand and to remember. So 3 things for you to remember today: H for hook, E for explanation, and C for call to action. So let me give you an example of a Hec Hamburger email. So here we go. Here's the hook, where you get your recipient interested. Appraisals are going to get a whole lot easier this year. Wow, okay. We'll talk about hooks in a moment, but that sounds good. Everyone hates appraisals and they're going to get easier. Fantastic. So then we've got our explanation, where we share the critical information. Next week, you'll be sent a new appraisal form that's quicker and simpler to fill in. There's a 360 option where you can ask for feedback from colleagues with just a click. We just explain our point in a couple of sentences. And then finally, we have a call to action. What do you want them to do? Watch out for the form in your inbox next week with more information. So it's as simple as that: hook, explanation, and call to action. Now, at the end, I'll be answering all your email questions, so get thinking about those, some of the challenges that you have, and do put them in the chat later on, so I can get to all of those, but do feel free to ask questions as we go along as well. So let me ask you this. We're going to start to talk about hooks first of all. And if we can get the poll up now, please, that would be great. So how do you start your emails? Is it with something like, "I hope you're well"? We're going to vote on this. If we can get the poll up, that would be fantastic. I know these things take a couple of minutes to load, I think. But I'm going to ask you, is that something that you use a lot? I hope you're well, or I hope this email finds you well, or something similar like that. Is it something that you never use, or is it sometimes, do you put that in there sometimes? Let's have a look. So the poll's up there now. Have a look and see. Do vote on that. Tell me how you start your emails. Particularly here in the UK, this tends to be one of our default ones here. Hopefully we'll get the results up in just a moment. This tends to be the one that we default to a lot of the time. It's our go-to starter for emails when we can't think of anything else to say and we want to sound polite. And often it is genuine. We want to know how people are. But I'll tell you in a moment why perhaps it's not my favorite one. Get voting, everyone. Right, here are the results here. So we've got 40% say all the time, 40% sometimes, And I presume that means 20% never. So it's a really interesting one, isn't it? And I will tell you why it's not my favorite. The first line of our email is the most valuable real estate in your email. Imagine it's like the Mayfair of your email, or the think of your very posh postcode wherever you live. That is prime real estate. And we have 3 seconds to grab people's attention. 3, 2, 1. That's it. That's all the time we have to grab people's attention. And something like, I hope you're well, whilst it's well-meaning and we want to sound friendly, we sometimes don't want to sound too direct, we are wasting this valuable real estate. So what should we do instead? Well, we want to think about a couple of different approaches. So starting our emails with either something that is personal to the person that you're writing to, or you can just get straight to the point. You don't need to have this filler. So I'll give you some examples in the moment. But the reason that making it personal is so important is that then it feels like you are writing to that person and that person only. We ignore generic. If you think about your social media feeds, if you feel like you've seen it before, what do? You scroll on by. We are fighting for people's attention. So we need to do everything we can to stand out. And writing a personalized starter to their email, to your email, whether that's a question or something funny, I'll share some examples in a moment, can make all the difference between it getting opened and read and replied to and it just being ignored. So we can make it personal, or we can just get straight to the point. I'm sure you know those, often it's senior executives, might be someone in your leadership team, and they just write one-line emails, or maybe one-word emails. Yes, no, do it, hate it. I once had a boss who used to just reply with Nike, and he meant just do it. So I knew whenever I wrote to him, I would always have to be incredibly concise because he had the attention span of a not even a toddler. So let me get some slides up in just a moment here, and we can look at some different examples of how you might start your email. So this is our hook. We're going to make it appetizing. It's the first thing that people see. So we could try this, the warm and fuzzy. So if this is someone that we know well, hope your daughter had fun at her birthday party. Or it might be, how were your Zoom marathon meetings last week? Or, was the lunch as good as you'd hoped? Something where you can refer to a conversation. And starting with questions is always a really great one to engage people. If it's someone that you don't know, you can use what I call the connector. So where can you find a point of connection between the two of you? So here's an example. Your presentation on employee engagement got me thinking. Can you refer to something that they've done, that you've noticed that they've perhaps done on social media, or it might be something that they've done in their role, or someone that you have in common that you know? Whatever point of connection you can put across, the better. If you've been introduced to someone, introduced to them through someone, mention their name, find those points of contact. We're always hardwired to find the familiar. So that's a really good starter if it's someone that you want to connect with. The T's. So someone who is really hard to engage. We all know those executives who don't really read their emails will never respond. But if they've got a sense of humor, then you can use it. So you might like this idea. Hold on to your hats. I've got a great thing to tell you. Have you had your coffee this morning? Because you're going to need it. A bit of humor. You can give them a sense of curiosity about what you're going to say. Now, of course, this might not be appropriate for everyone. You know your audience, you know who you're writing to. These are just some ideas to whet your appetite. And then finally here, we've got this one, the straight to the point. So I have the answer to your question. So that's for those people who are super direct, they don't beat around the bush, and they just need to get the information. So don't always feel that you need to have the softly introduction to get people to reply to you. Sometimes it's better just to be direct. So I hope those have been helpful. We're now going to look a little at our explanations, okay? So these are the meat of our burger. This is the point. And ideally what we want to do is stick to one point or topic per email. Often we can try and jam too many things in. And we've all had that burger, haven't we? That's, you know, it looks on the menu and it's got bacon and the cheese, which might be okay, but then it's got the halloumi and the avocado and this and that, and it just becomes big and sloppy and unmanageable. We don't want that. It's not going to taste nice. Just have a sip of water. Excuse me. Then we want to think about the minimum viable information. And by that I mean is, what is the least amount of information that I need to get across for them to understand what I need? So this is about being super strict with your words that you use, anything that's redundant, the nice to haves, chop. We want to be as lean as possible. That burger isn't fatty. It's going to be lean and healthy and delicious. I'm going to flog this metaphor to death, okay, just to warn you. And ideally our explanation won't be more than 3 short sentences. So overall, our email should only be around 80 words. It's not very much. It's about 5 to 6 sentences. Any more than that, and people start to find it hard to read it and to do what we want. So 80 sentences overall. And each sentence should be no more than 16 words. So what I want you to do now is have a look at an email that you've written recently and count the words in your longest sentence. Now, when I do these sessions, I do them with organizations all over the world, all sorts of teams. I think the longest sentence has been 63. So can we beat that today? Hopefully not. Hopefully you've got short sentences, but come on, fess up. Tell me, have a look at your emails now. Look at an email you've written recently and tell me how many words in your longest sentence. How many is it going to be? Tell me in the chat. Uh-oh, yeah, Nikki's hiding her face already. Fess up, everyone. Come on, this is a safe space. You can share it with me. Okay, we've got them coming through. Oh, fantastic. We've got some great ones here. Well done, Stephanie, only 17. Oh, Alex, we're going a bit high. Yeah. Oh, Monique, you're at 38. I think you're the winner so far. Who else have we got? 20. Most of you are pretty good. I'm impressed, actually. Very impressed. These are much lower figures than I normally get. So I think Monique, you are the highest there, 38. And we've got some. Oh, Karine, you've got 34. So yeah, you're going up into long sentences. So overall, not bad, everyone. Well done. That's not a bad result. But 16 words or fewer. That is where we are best understood by people. And what we want to do is just make it easy for people to respond to us. We want to make it easy for them to reply. So it's not always easy for us to write the email. It might take a couple more minutes effort in cutting it back and being really concise, but that will guarantee us much better results. So 3 short sentences, 80 words overall, 16 words in a sentence. So let me give you an example of an effortless explanation here. So great news, there's a hook, enticing. Who doesn't love great news, right? That will get everyone interested. Planning is nearly finished for our dinner event on Thursday. We now just need 2 minutes of your time to finalise food and drink options. Okay, so it's very straightforward. And then the call to action, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Please go through the quick list below and tick the options you prefer by Friday at 3 p.m. So our explanation, we could talk about, the restaurant, we could talk about the entertainment, we could talk about this. But no, we're sticking to one point. This is about the food and the drink for the event. So we are keeping it really tight, and that will make a big difference to the response rates that you get. Right. So let me ask you this. So far, so we've talked about hooks. Monique saying here, hilarious, my 38-word sentence is in a dinner event email. Oh my goodness, I must be a mind reader here today. Well, you'll be chopping them back, I'm sure. So we've talked about hooks and we've talked about explanations so far. So tell me in the chat, what are you going to do differently with some of the ideas that I've put forward? Is it you're going to shorten your sentences? Are you going to shorten your emails? Are you going to change your hooks? Are you going to cut back and stick to one topic? What's your key takeaways so far that you've learned today? Tell me in the chat. I want to know what you're going to commit to doing. So Gabrielle is saying here she's going to change her hook and stick to one topic. Brilliant. Well done. Catherine's saying shorter sentences and change her hooks. Yeah, hooks. We've got lots of hooks going on there. Brooke's going to be more concise. Monique, you're going to shorten your sentences. Absolutely. Nori, you're going to do the build up to the heck. Brilliant. Sticking to one topic, Rachel. Fantastic. Mandy saying, I am the queen of brevity. However, I do love the hook idea. Well done for being so brief. That's absolutely wonderful. And Delphine, you're saying you're going to change your hook as well. Brilliant. It sounds like you're going to make some fantastic changes already. And we haven't even got to the best bit. That is your call to action. So that's what you do at the end of your email. So let me pop some juicy slides up here for you. More hamburgers to get us hungry. I'm really glad I've had my lunch already. But this is one of the most important parts of your email is how you end it. So your CTA, your call to action, essentially is a clear next step. And if you don't have that clear next step, that bottom bun of your burger, it's almost impossible to pick it up and take a bite. And it's the piece that most of us choke on. So we spend quite a lot of time working on the email, but then we're not clear about what it is that we want. And that leads to unanswered emails. And it drives us a bit crazy, isn't it? And then we have to start with the follow-ups, don't we? Just checking in, a friendly reminder, as per my last email, answer the damn email. Yep, we get really frustrated. So a few little tweaks to our calls to action can turn them into like an energy booster. It's like an energy drink. So we want to ask for one thing in one sentence. And we're going to give a clear, specific, and manageable next step. We're going to give a time frame, so a deadline, because even if we put urgent, what's urgent to us might not be urgent to someone else. We have different views on what that might be. And most importantly, your call to action comes at the end of your email. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, I've been taught to tell people up front what I want. That's great. You can absolutely do that. You can put that in your hook if you like, but repeat it at the end. Because often what happens is people state what they want up front, then they give a whole load of information. And by that time that person has finished reading it, they've forgotten what it is that they're being asked to do. So we need to leave them with the last memory, the last thought. This is my clear next step. I know exactly what it is that I need to do next. So we are going to look at some examples. So tell me in the chat, do you use any of these weak call to actions? Let me know if you'd like to discuss. Please give me your feedback. Let me know if this is of interest. Let me know what works best for you and your schedule. However, It's no problem at all if you're too busy. I completely understand. We're being too nice. So tell me in the chat, what do you use? What do you use? And if you'd like to unmute yourself, and we'll get you up, pull you up on stage, you can tell us a little bit more about your calls to action. So do put your hand up if you'd like to talk about it. Corinne is saying she uses none of them. Well done, Corinne. 10 out of 10 for you. Fantastic. Does anyone else use any of these when they're trying to get someone to do anything? Come on, fess up. Don't be shy. Cecile's saying, let me know what works best for you and your schedule. Catherine saying, please give me your feedback, which I dislike using. Okay, I've got some different suggestions for you in a moment. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Rolanda, that's what you're using. Delphine saying she uses them all the time. Michelle saying, let me know if, let me know when, and hate it. Yeah. So it is difficult, isn't it? How do we politely but firmly get people to do what we want? And I imagine that quite often you're emailing a range of people and you're trying to get them to do things often that they don't really want to do. So how do we do that in a way that is more motivating? We can do something like this. Again, these are just examples. You know your world, your audience, the people that you interact with. But here are some examples. So please review the data on slide 5 of the report and email me with any changes by Friday at 2 p.m. Why is this good? It's specific. So we're not saying look at everything. We're saying slide 5 and it has look at the data. So already that makes it feel like a smaller task for them to do it. You're giving them the channel that they need to give you feedback in. So email me. So they know that that's how you want it. If you want it in a phone call, you could do that. And you're giving them a deadline. So you're being much, much more specific about what it is that you want. So that's a really good one. Second one, are you free on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning for a Zoom? So we often make people work too hard. So we say, when are you free? When suits you best? And we think that we're being really polite and we think that we're being respectful. But actually then what does that other person have to do? Oh, they've got to look at their calendar and they're like, oh, when am I free? Oh, do I need to offer a few times? And we're putting the hassle on them. So if we can make it as simple as possible, so if we're trying to book in a meeting, offer some times and days. If you can't see their calendar, if it's someone internally, then you can probably see their calendar. And the third one here, do you prefer option A or option B? So giving people just a simple choice. You can even tell them to reply. Just reply with A or B. So simple. They don't even have to write a full sentence. So keep asking yourself here, how can I make it easy for people to do what I want? How can I give them the least possible job to do? And that is where we see a big change. If something's easy, we do it. If you think about the emails that you write in your inbox, and the ones that you go to first, they're the easy ones, aren't they? They're not necessarily the most important or the most urgent ones, but they're the ones that are easiest to reply to. So if your emails are the easiest ones in people's inbox, then you'll get faster responses. So before I get on to your questions, just to reiterate what you've learned today. So your hook, the start of your email, your explanation, that's the middle of your email, and then your call to action, the one sentence, specific, clear, actionable next step with a deadline. So I'm excited to learn what you're going to be doing to change this up. And I think, Nikki, have we got a few more minutes for questions?
We absolutely do. So the first one regarding the training that you do, Kim, Catherine's asked, is it provided online?
Absolutely. So it can either be done online or it can be done in person. So we train people in organizations how to deliver deliver it to their organizations, and they can train people in person or online. So it's a super flexible program, and it's on a license basis. So organizations buy a license and they can train as many people as they want, which works incredibly well. All your new joiners coming in, imagine, you know, PAs across your organization, everyone is writing really, really fantastic emails and are answered more quickly. You're saving time and you're saving effort.
Absolutely. What amazing value that would bring, particularly if assistants pick that up and ran with that training. Because Kim, why don't you share some stats with us around the training that you do? How much time and energy and how much does productivity shoot up when everyone is writing effective emails? The difference must be incredible.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, and on so many levels, you know, it depends on the teams, obviously, but you know, you're looking at hours and hours and hours saved each week. So this is getting people to respond quicker. I work with sales teams who are getting meetings in quicker, marketing teams who get more people coming to their events, IT people who are actually learning how to, you know, speak in really simple English to non-technical audiences. So it's really seen across the organization, but particularly when you're in a role as you are in the EA and PA world, where you're just trying to get people to do stuff for you all the time, and they don't always want to do it. And the amount of time and energy that we spend on following up, checking in, chasing, that can be completely, well, not completely wiped out, but really, really reduced by around 80% in general, to reduce that chasing time. So there's really good stats around that.
Wow. And I can just, everyone imagine starting to think, gosh, what can I do with that time? It must be so many things.
Exactly. You know, I think email can be an absolute motivator. It can be a really fantastic tool to engage people, particularly when we're hybrid working, build relationships. When you know how to learn how to engage people and build those relationships and get people to do what you want, it's a miracle worker. But if you haven't been taught how to do it, then it is just a constant source of frustration.
Absolutely. We've got a quick question come in. What's Kim's suggestion for content in regards to the subject title of an email?
Oh, don't be boring. That's the first one. So write it after you've written your email. We often start with the subject line, but that's a bit like, I don't know, ordering your dessert before you've ordered your starter and your main course. Okay, we don't always know what we're going to be in the mood for, what's going to be right. So write your email first, and then really think about what is the most important point of this email. So it might be that you put your call to action in your subject line. You know, if it's something super urgent, you know, Sarah, please give me feedback by 4 p.m. Or if it's, I don't think they're going to want to do this, so I'm going to have to make this interesting, an idea for you. The ones that don't work so well are the generic, boring ones, just like with the hooks at the beginning. So stuff like feedback request, meeting request, update, FYI, no action required, all of those. So find the hook. What's in it for them? Why should they open it? So trying to find that point of connection again with you and your audience.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I know everyone is going to be going off and writing much more effective emails and getting what they want. And I can't wait to see that just how much of a difference that's going to make. But Kim, for now, thank you so much for joining us. It's such an interesting topic, and I'm horrified at how many hours we spend writing emails. But what I'm really pleased with is that everyone is going to go away and at least that time is going to be better spent. So thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been great. Thanks everyone for being so active on the chat. It's been really fun talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.